Before we go, we're going to spend some time talking about the Key West Botanical Gardens, which has become such a favorite place of so many people in our community of all different ages. Now, unlike the traditional botanical gardens, our garden here really advocates the importance of native species through education and conservation. With that being said, we're going to talk with Layla and Heidi from the Education Department. Hi ladies, thanks for being on with me this morning.
Hi, thank you for having us.
You are very welcome. Now, I just mentioned how the Key West Botanical Garden has become such a favorite of everybody in our community. What do you think the draw is?
The Key West Botanical Garden, it really is, it's a magical place. People come from all over the community to get away from the hustle, the bustle of downtown Duval Street, and it's a place where they can come and be surrounded by nature, be around trees, be around native plants and flora and fauna, and really relax. And whether they choose to come on a nature hike, exploring the garden through our boardwalk or our trails, or coming and reading a book on many of our benches, or coming and just having a picnic, it's a great place to spend the afternoon or morning.
Okay, and now I mentioned that you both are with the Education Department, and you guys offer so many programs. I understand that you bring students from kindergarten through first grade through the Living Laboratory program.
We do.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we bring students from kindergarten through 5th grade in. We go into every classroom from marathon down, and we do an opening lesson, and we teach them a science lesson based on the state standards. The lesson also incorporates conservation and environmental education. So we bring them we go into their classroom, we do an opening lesson, and then the great part is that the students come on field trips. And they come in, they get to pretend that they're scientists, they conduct environmental and scientific experiments in the garden. And then after the lesson, we go back into their classroom and we do a closing lesson. And again, with all of this, we do pre and post assessments. So we really find out if the students are learning, if they're growing, if they're, if they're meeting the benchmarks, and we're finding that they are.
Okay, and now what programs do you have for kids who are, pre-kindergarten, pre-nursery school?
Well, preschool, we've started a program for VPK students this year. We've been bringing all those students in a similar format with an introduction lesson, getting them ready for the garden field trip, and then actually coming to the garden on a field trip, and then a closing lesson as well. Again, hitting on science-based exploration, because we really feel for our environmental education program, learning at the garden, it really comes alive and it becomes meaningful for these students if they can make connections to what's going on in their own backyard. And I feel that the students in the pre-K program have really gained an understanding more about our plants and animals through the botanical garden. And we also have a Parent and Me program on the first Tuesdays of the month where parents can come with their children and explore the garden as well with science-based lessons.
Wow, okay, now what about, we've talked about the younger kids, what about the older kids, like the high school kids? Do you offer programs for them?
Oh, we do. We have middle school programs, first of all. We do overnight campouts, and we have a la carte lesson plans. One in particular is the Go Green Science Fair. Centennial Bank came out and gave huge prizes to all of the teachers and the students involved. We also have a high school internship program where the kids come into the garden and do a variety of experiments. Part of that, we had one group that worked with the Monroe County Extension Services, and they did a research on the whitefly, and we're teaching the community what to do about the whitefly population. So many projects. These high school kids worked with University of Central Florida students, and it was a great learning experience. So it's just so cool to be able to offer programs pre-K through high school in our community, all for free.
Wow.
Thanks to our grantors.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And now, what about in the summer, though? You two, do you offer all of this still in the summer, or is it just during the school year?
I'll answer that. We do have programs that go year-round, but right now, just like the schools, we take a tiny little break. So what we like to do in the summer is any family that wants to come into the garden, we have a few activities available. We have scavenger hunts for ages 5 and down, and then 6 and up. They're self-based scavenger hunts, so families can come in and do them. We also encourage families to come in and go on nature hikes, come on picnics in the garden, bring a camera, teach your children about photography, about butterflies, about birds, go to the library and get a book on birds and go birding in the garden. There's just so much to do there. And you know, Key West doesn't have a lot of backyard space. You know, when I was a kid, I used to run in the backyard and, you know, dig in the dirt. And you can't really dig in the dirt at the garden, but you can come in and you can be one with nature in the garden in the summer. Give your kids those experiences.
Right, and all the photos that they've been able to see behind us are all taken at the Botanical Garden, so you can see just how beautiful this place really is. And thank you for offering all the education programs that you guys do there.
Yeah, and we thank the Dogwood Family Foundation and Institute of Museum and Library Services, as well as the Monroe County School District. We couldn't do it without them all.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing all of this with us this morning, and that's going to do it for us today, everyone. We are running out of time, so have a great rest of your day. I'm going to be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow and again at 8:30. Take care, everyone.